Have you seen this photo at Breitbart? Now, I just saw this a few minutes ago. So I'm going to go through this article cold with you. But I had to share it with the audience. Because if you want to know what we're up against, if you want to know how screwed up society is, here you go. And I really can't find the words to describe what's in this picture. Now, this is in reference to a Florida Pride event, which featured a teens and kids zone. So you already know that this thing's, way out there in the stratosphere. But in this picture, they've got two drag queens sitting next to each other. Drag Queen Story Hour. And in the left of this picture, you've got one of these drag queens who's wearing a black and white leopard skin outfit, COVID mask. They've got the cat mascara, the cat eyes going. They think they're in Cats. Didn't that get taken off of Broadway like a couple years ago? So at any rate, this Catwoman, person, man, gender thing is holding up what looks like an LGBTQ book for kids. You know where this is going. But next to him, the best way to describe this guy looks, or girl, gender fluid, trans, black, whatever he is, whatever she is, it, they, using proper pronouns here. They look like Klinger from MASH, wearing a bright yellow blonde wig with sunflowers in their hair, what looks like Saru's makeup with yellow under the eyes, a handlebar mustache, and a sundress with their chest hair popping out, and a tattoo on, their right or left arm? I believe it's the left arm because that's how the camera works. It's always opposite when you're taking pictures. It's kind of like when you're on stage. When you're in the audience, you're seeing left to right, but when you're on stage, you're seeing right to left. But you've got to see this picture. So I'll read you the article. It says here, Florida Pride event includes Kids Zone featuring drag queen. And this came out today, the 1st. This is by Spencer Lindquist. A Florida Pride Festival featured a drag queen question and answer event in the Teen Zone and a story hour in the Kids Zone, the Daily Caller reported. The teens portion consisted of a question and answer with a drag performer who goes by the name Misty Eyes, and they spell eyes E-Y-E-Z. Oh, how clever. That must have been when they were in their creative period. The drag performer also took part in a drag queen story hour event in the Kids Zone. This is not appropriate. For minors, I'm sorry, this is not appropriate. I'm gay, and I'm even saying that this isn't appropriate. We need more people like that drag queen who came out and said, please don't bring your kids here. This is not a place for your kids. And do you really want to hear screaming, nagging kids in a gay bar? No, I don't think so. The festival, which was hosted by Hollywood, Florida and Broward County, Florida, also include a banned book nook in the Kids Zone. The banned book area featured various controversial books and was hosted by the Broward County Hollywood Library and Safe Schools South Florida, a group working to embed gender theory in schools. Again, not appropriate. Now, the organization explains that it's hoping to mobilize students in service of leftist causes. Of course. Did I say leftists? These leftist causes through what's known as the GSA, or the Gay Straight Alliance. Leadership training, diversity conferences. There's that word diversity again. The group also works on policy advocacy initiatives. Advocacy, if I can read tonight, we'll be in good shape. So the group also works on policy advocacy initiatives with schools, school districts, and government agencies. Why is the government getting involved with this? This should be left up to the parents, not to a school, not to a drag queen. It should be left up to the parents. Called Welcome Home My Hollywood Pride, the event also features screenings of Legacy Couples Project, a documentary about 14 queer couples. Colba, spelled C-A-O-B-A, a film about safe spaces for homosexual men of color, was also screened during the festival. You know, because after the Tyree Nichols incident, I want to call him Tyler for some reason. And did you see Al Sharpton, by the way, giving his great speech at this funeral today? Or was it yesterday? Saying, yeah, if Tyree Nichols was white, this wouldn't happen. Hey, Al. And he's saying, we always have worked through nonviolence. Really, what about Freddie's Fashion Mart, Mr. Sharpton? Anybody remember that one? That was in 85? When he was, 300 pounds? Now, I got to give him credit. He did lose all this weight. He looks nice and trim, although you're starting to look like a chipmunk. I'd be saying that about anybody, whatever your color is. If you're losing that much weight and you got your hair greased back and start to look like a chipmunk or an alien. The festival was sponsored, getting back to the article, by Starbucks, Holy Cross Hospital, and the Florida Cleveland Clinic. The Florida Cleveland Clinic provides patients with information about gender affirmation surgery. I was gonna say here, speaking of Al Sharpton and this Tyree Nichols memorial service. Back in the day, and I mentioned this, I think, in my last video, groups like the Irish and the Italians, because the Irish and Italians were having these gang wars in places like New York and Boston. Oh, the cops used to beat them up all the time. Are you kidding me? Yeah, well, that was then. This isn't now. Well, I am sure there's a lot of cases out there. In fact, there was one in Arizona where I think this guy had some type of disability and they shot him. He was supposed to go out there with his hands up and they just jumped the gun or something. I mean, he did what he was told. But getting back to the article, the festival was sponsored, as I said, by Starbucks, Holy Cross Hospital, Florida Cleveland Clinic. Now, the Florida Cleveland Clinic provides patients with information about gender affirmation surgery, as I said, and the Florida Clinic is just one medical institution among many that have worked to influence children's understanding of sex and gender. No, again, this should be left up to the parents. Breitbart News has revealed that several children's hospitals that provide puberty blockers, hormone therapy, or even surgical operations sponsored pride parades throughout the country. Some of these parades, such as the 2022 Nashville Pride Parade, featured portions that were specifically aimed at children. Wrong on so many levels. This is just like the San Francisco Gay Men's Chorus saying we're going to indoctrinate your children. Not on my watch, you're not. So I thought I'd come here and talk about this. Doing this on the fly tonight, one take video. Hope you enjoyed it. But you've got to take a look at this photo. It just, seriously, this guy looks like Klinger after a cocaine binge with a handlebar mustache and sunflowers in his hair. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, you know what to do. You can also follow me at Instagram, #JasonComposes, because I write music in my spare time. Or you can find me at Twitter, Culture Confederacy at Twitter. This is the Culture Confederacy. You know how we do it here. This is where the past crashes with the present. So thank you for being with me. God bless. Peace out. I'll catch you next time.